Hey everyone, and welcome back with another Skyrim mods showcase. I apparently got sick, so this video was delayed for some time. And honestly, it's a great time to return because while everyone's been understandably hyped about Oblivion Remastered, Skyrim's modding scene has been quietly dropping some absolute bangers. So whether you're here to revive your 5th playthrough or just love seeing what the modding community comes up with, today's lineup is packed with must-haves. Consider this your one-way ticket back into the endless modding curse. Anyways, let's start the video. Alright, let's start with a mod that truly brings Skyrim's landscapes to life. Freak's Floral Meadows. If you've ever wandered through Skyrim and thought that the vanilla grass could use a serious upgrade, this mod is exactly what you've been looking for. It completely overhauls the game's flora, replacing the original grass with lush, realistic 3D grasses that vary depending on the region. And the best part, each area feels distinct, staying true to its original aesthetics while adding so much more depth and beauty. Take the Tundra biome for example. It keeps that classic golden brown mix but with added density and a natural sway that makes it feel alive. Then there's the Rift region, which already has a vibrant autumn vibe, and now it's even more striking with subtle hints of purple and red grasses blending into the environment. Of course, every region gets its own unique touch, from the snowy plains of the Pale to the dense forests of Falkreath. And the mod does all of this while being surprisingly performance-friendly compared to its predecessor, Freak's Floral Fields. So if you've been holding off on a grass overall because of FPS concerns, this just might be the perfect balance of beauty and optimization. I'll show off some more of these grasses in different areas so you can see just how much of a difference it makes. Next up, we've got Edmond's nature series, Deer, a mod that takes Skyrim's wildlife to the next level. If you've ever felt the vanilla elks were a bit simple, this mod fixes that by introducing new photorealistic white-tailed bucks, does, fawns, and even black-tailed deer across the world. It's not just about new additions either. Each type has its own unique hide, so when you hunt them down, the build you collect actually match the animal you took down. But what really sells this mod for me is how it adjusts spawns dynamically, making sure different deer species appear where they naturally would. I personally think this adds so much more immersion to the world. Mods like this are why Skyrim still feels fresh. They don't just change the game, they enhance it further. By the way, hear me out in case you still don't have Skyrim or you're looking to buy other games. Instant Gaming is the #1 place to get discounted games for PC and consoles. You can even pre-order games like Elden Ring Night Rain, which should be cheaper especially if you're around Europe, to other games such as Skyrim AE, or even games that you can pre-order with a cheaper price. You'll definitely find better deals here. So if you're interested, be sure to use my link down below and buy cheaper games. Plus, we're also doing a giveaway with Instant Gaming where the winner gets to choose any game they want that's available on Instant Gaming's website. These are affiliate links which don't cost you any more but helps the channel out. Alright, for the next mod we have something that'll make Skyrim's combat feel brutally satisfying, Sanguine Symphony. This mod overhauls the impacts you and NPCs get when in combat with new brutal visual effects that makes every swing, stab, and arrow impact feel real. Some examples would be adaptive blood splatters, detailed decals, and subtle physics tweaks to make each strike feel lifelike, violent, and satisfying. Of course, there are a lot more to it than those. Some of the other features I want to highlight are the following. Cool impact overall. This basically drives all visual and sound effects based on the weapon type you're using, armor worn, and hit location. Every time you hit your opponent, it'll now actually feel heavy, responsive, and basically just a lot more immersive. So now hitting NPCs equipped with heavy armor, you'll now hear metal clashing to one another as you hit your opponents. Or if they're using leather armor, you'll hear appropriate sounds for it. This also depends on the weapon you use, and each weapon will have their own sound effects. Localized impacts are also now working, so when an NPC with no helmet has heavy armor, hitting unprotected areas will now trigger a flesh sound effects while getting hit. This also works for arrows whenever you use a bow. Dynamic bloodshed is also a great feature as bloodshed will depend on the NPC's health. For example, if an NPC with full health gets hit, there won't be much blood spilling out. But as soon as the health of the NPC diminish, appropriate bloodshed will appear. What's even more amazing is that all of these can be modified through the mod's MCM menu. Of course, there's even more features the mod brings, but these are some of the features I was amazed in. Now, for a few smaller immersive mods, we have logical rope bridges, suspension of spans. This mod basically makes bridges make sense. I mean, if you notice, the ropes that holds the bridges together doesn't currently make sense. The wooden planks does not have any support or safety measure. However, with this mod installed, it adds that nice logical detail, making it feel a lot safer to cross bridges. Honestly, a simple yet immersive mod I highly recommend you guys to try out. Another mod would be Draw Fix Move Equip Animation Fix. In vanilla Skyrim, it uses a single fixed upper body animation when drawing a weapon. The animation for this was originally designed to look natural only when your character is standing still. But when you equip a weapon during movement, it causes the character's upper body to snap in place before instantly finishing the animation, which then results with a more awkward and unnatural appearance. However, with this mod installed, it fixes that by making it a lot more seamless and without the jarred animation. Angelic Standing Stones is one of those hidden gem mods that I believe deserves more recognition. This mod makes it so all standing stone buffs are unique from one another. Though they are technically already different, even with mods, some standing stones are just better than others, resulting to some never getting picked. This mod changes that by making each buff more reliable and balanced. A good example would be the Apprentice Stone. In vanilla, despite getting 100% more magica regeneration, you apparently also get 100% weakness to magic. And just by knowing that, I already know 90% of mage characters wouldn't want to use the stone's buff. And in my opinion, it doesn't really make sense at all. Well, with ASS, the Apprentice Stone will now increase your magica by 100 while fortifying destruction and illusion by 20. This makes the buff a lot more useful as a mage character, which I would personally choose as well. Another example would be the Lady Stone. In vanilla, it wasn't bad, but it isn't that great. You basically only gain 25% faster regeneration for both the health and stamina. However, with this mod, your health, magica, and stamina will be increased by 25, and prices will be 30% better. If you ask me, this makes a lot more sense for the Lady Stone, plus it's a lot more useful than the original. Of course, there are a lot more changes, so I highly recommend you to check the mod page for the full description of what's new for each stone. Additionally, the mod authors made patches for those who use Amulets of Skyrim and brand new icons to work seamlessly with ASS. Lumbermill Log Pile Fix is another small immersion mod that makes the log piles make more sense and real. Aside from the logs being less sunken or no more melted logs, logs will now float just like in real life. A very simple yet immersive mod that I think is still worth having. Next up, we have Vanaheimr Landscapes AIO, a stunning, brand new complete landscape overall that transforms every inch of Skyrim's terrain with incredibly realistic, high quality textures. This mod doesn't just tweak things here and there, it completely transforms the game's environment, making them feel fresh and immersive. The pine forests, for example, now have rich, detailed ground cover with layers of fallen leaves, twigs, and natural debris, giving them that authentic woodland feel. Meanwhile, the tundra regions blend warm orange, red, and green grasses, perfectly complementing the grass mod we looked at earlier. The Reach region gets an impressive upgrade with lush, mossy textures that make sense for a region crisscrossed by rivers and streams. Snowy areas now feature deep, parallax-enhanced snow that looks almost real, while the volcanic zones have ashen, rugged ground textures that fit their harsh environment. Even the marshes feel more alive with thick, muddy textures, giving that nice swampy vibe. And let's not forget the Rift. Its autumnal forests now have ground textures that match the vibrant colors of the trees, tying everything together beautifully. Honestly, this mod doesn't just compete with other Skyrim overhauls, it surpasses many of the textures you'd see in modern AAA games. Diverse and creative, but it doesn't stop there. Vanaheimr also includes complex parallax effects and terrain blending to ensure seamless transition between textures, eliminating those awkward tiled looks you sometimes get with other mods. Plus, the mod also overhauls the game's other world spaces such as Solstheim, the Forgotten Vale, and even the Soul Cairn all get their unique treatments, so no area feels left behind. The Egg series is all about taking Skyrim's most forgettable locations and turning them into something more memorable. And their latest addition, Occult Cradle Stone Tower, is no exception. In vanilla, this tower is just there. Another generic ruin with nothing special going on. But with this mod installed, it's transformed into a creepy occult-infested ruin that speaks dark magic. Filled with a ton of Forsworn, you'll definitely now have a challenge clearing this location. Compared to the copy-paste vanilla version, this mod makes stumbling upon the tower an actual discovery. If you love exploration mods that reward curiosity, this is a fantastic addition in my opinion. Last but not the least, unique farmhouse architecture at Dawnstar. This mod fixes one of Skyrim's most immersion-breaking quirks, repetitive architecture. In vanilla, Dawnstar's farmhouses are identical to every other generic farmhouse in the game, which makes the world feel less unique than it should. This mod gives Dawnstar's farms their own unique distinct style with new models that fit the cold coastal vibe of the town. It's a small change, but it makes Dawnstar feel like its own place rather than just another settlement with recycled assets. If you're a fan of mods that adds variety to Skyrim's world, this one is definitely a no-brainer. And that's about it for today. I know there's a ton more of mods out there, but you know I wouldn't be able to showcase them all in one video. Anyways, I still hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for even more content. As always, stay safe and happy modding!